Dear Kristin, we are pleased to inform you that your OWL exam schedule has now been approved. The exam session will commence on the 1st of April, and your last exam date is the 30th of the same month. Please find recommended revision topics provided by your professors included in this envelope. Best of luck!
Hi and hello. It's Kristin from Kristin and Her Books, and I'm participating in the Owl's Magical Readathon. So for anyone who isn't familiar, the Owl's Magical Readathon is a readathon hosted by Book Roast, where basically you pick a magical wizarding career and then you complete prompts in order to, it would basically be like taking your owls in that subject that you would need to eventually become that career. Such major props go out to Book Roast. She has put in so much time and effort to make this something that so many people can enjoy, and like the prompts, the letters, everything so gorgeous. I'll leave all the information that you need to know about how to participate in this readathon in the description box below. But basically what we're going to do today is I'm going to share with you the books that I'm going to be reading for the Owl's Magical Readathon. And to start off, we probably should discuss the career that I chose. So out of all of them, the one that I thought interested me most was care of magical children. Basically, it's kind of like a foster care worker looking out for children who aren't exactly Hogwarts age, but still have magical powers and still need to be taken care of. So the owls that I have to get are Arithmancy, Charms, Defense Against the Dark Arts, Herbology, History of Magic, Muggle Studies, Potions, and Transfiguration. So for each one of those classes, I have a specific prompt I have to go through. So for this video, I'm going to just tell you which prompt I have, what book I chose, and that'll be basically it. So starting off with the very first class, that was Arithmancy, which in the world of HP is the study of magical numbers. So the prompt for this class is read outside your favorite genre. Now everyone knows, or should know if you've watched any of my videos, that I love historical fiction and contemporary. Those are probably my two big genres that I read in, although I don't define myself by them. So I thought for this prompt I could step out of my comfort zone a little and do fantasy. And for that, I decided that I would do the fantasy book that everyone has been telling me to read, basically, and that is Nevermoor by Jessica Townsend. Basically, this is a story that actually has been compared to Harry Potter, so I think it's very appropriate for this readathon. It follows the story of a girl named Morrigan Crow who is told that she has to die on the eve of her 11th birthday and instead is whisked off to a wondrous world where she has to compete in competitions by a man named Jupiter North. Seriously, you probably have heard of this book. You probably have read it because apparently I am the last one to get to it. But I'm excited and it seems very fantastical. So this is what I will be reading for my Arithmancy owl. The next class I have to take is Charms, one of the classes that if I was in Hogwarts, I believe would be my favorite. I mean, I just think that it's so cute, like getting little teacups to do little tricks and just the fun things that you would learn with Professor Flitwick. So for Charms, the prompt is a book with a white cover. I'm not really sure why, but that's fine. For this one, I picked a book off my TBR that has been there forever that I actually chose because of its cover, and that is Wildwood by Colin Malloy. This book is illustrated by the same illustrator who did The Mysterious Benedict Society, and obviously the cover is gorgeous, but the story seems like it could be really interesting too. It follows the story of a character named Prue McKeel and what happens whenever her brother is abducted by a murder of crows and taken into the impassable wilderness. So technically this could have also fallen for my fantasy prompt too. And even though it's so dense, I'm hoping for the best with this book. And if nothing else, maybe I can look back at the cover and have it kind of inspire me some as I keep going. So in order to one day become a caretaker for magical children, I also have to take the owl for defense against the dark arts. So the prompt for this class is a book set at the sea or the coast. So for this prompt, I chose The Lady's Guide to Petticoats and Piracy. For this one, I'm going to be doing the audiobook for it. And this is the sequel to The Gentleman's Guide to Vice and Virtue. That one took a lot on the sea and adventures. And so whereas the first book in the duology, or is it gonna, I think it might end up being a trilogy, I'm not sure. The first one focused on Percy and his relationship with Monty. This one focuses on the sister from the first book, Felicity, as she works to achieve her dreams to become a doctor, while also being back in history where women were not easily doctors. This book, from what I believe, has a lot to do with piracy and adventures on the ocean, so it will fit that prompt perfectly. And honestly, I'm just very excited to have another Montague story to read. And I actually do think that I saw where there's going to be a third one in this whole series, so I'm excited about that too. The next class that I'll have to get in my owl in is Herbology. And for this one, the prompt is read a book that's title starts with an M. So for this one, I had to do kind of a throwback, and I am going to be doing Matilda by Roald Dahl. I read this story when I was probably like 6 or 7 years old, but it's a classic. And I love Matilda so much that I really just cannot wait to go back and follow Matilda as she uses her magical brain powers to levitate things and work against her wicked family. The next class that I'm going to have to get my owl in is The History of Magic, and the prompt for this class is a book that has to do with witches or wizards. So I picked The Witches by Roald Dahl. Yes, another Roald Dahl pick for this one. This story has to do with a group of witches and their misconduct. I don't actually know too much about this book, and I'm fine with keeping it that way, but I definitely think it's going to fit the prompt for having something to do with witches. And also, this is going to be a movie that releases in like September or October or something, so I'm excited to see how it will compare to the book. And honestly, it's been so long since I've read Roald Dahl that I'm actually very happy to have this on my list. The next class that I have to get my owl in is Muggle Studies. So the prompt for this one is read a contemporary. And the contemporary that I have chosen, Geekerella by Ashley Poston. I have heard so many good things about this book. Basically, it follows a girl who works at a food truck called the Magic Pumpkin, I think, and what happens whenever her sci-fi fandom has a convention and she wants to enter like the cosplay competition. So it's giving me Eliza and her monsters and fangirl vibes. I know it's been around for a while. It's not exactly new, but I'm still excited to be reading it. So this will cover my Muggle Studies prompt. Then I have 2 more classes I'll have to get my owl in. The next one is Potions, and the prompt for this one is read a book under 150 pages. So for this book, this prompt, I chose The Little Prince. I've read a little bit of this story and loved it, but never read the whole thing through. So I believe it follows the story of a boy who finds a planet, and what happens there. I've heard it's very whimsical and sweet. So I can't wait to experience this story for the Potions prompt, and since it's so short, I'm sure I can finish it in probably one sitting. And the last book on my list, the last owl I'll have to take, is Transfiguration, and that is read a book that includes shapeshifting. So luckily for me, I was able to make this work really well with the book I needed to read. I don't normally read a lot of shapeshifting books, but it just so happens that I am able to use Hollow City, the second book in the Miss Peregrine series, for this one, because Miss Peregrine turns into a peregrine, so it works. And I'm super excited to read Hollow City. In this story, Jacob and the Peculiars go to London and experience all the adventures that the city has to hold from them there. The first Miss Peregrine's book really blew my mind. It was so atmospheric and so adventuresome and mysterious. it was the book I didn't know that I was missing. And so I've only heard that it gets better, which is why I'm so excited to finally be reading Hollow City. And there you have it. Those are the 8 books that I will be reading for the Owls Magical Readathon. Once again, thanks so much to Book Rose for hosting this readathon. I've got so many books to read and I'm really excited to participate. If you like this video, hit the like button. If you haven't subscribed yet, go ahead and subscribe. I post new videos every Wednesday and Saturday, and I have so many new ideas coming around. I have my cover changes through the Ages series, all of those, a TBR game coming out soon, so I don't want you to miss any of that. And in the comments below, let me know if you're participating in the Owls Readathon, and if you are, what books you're reading. Are you reading any of the same ones as me? What career do you have? All of that, I would love to know. And that's going to be it for now. Thanks for stopping by. Bye.